At 27, Adriana Cole had become a force to be reckoned with. Ambitious, articulate and relentless, she was the rising star at Coraxis, a powerhouse marketing firm nestled in the heart of the city. As a senior strategist, she had a reputation for her innovative ideas and commanding presence during presentations. Her boss often quipped, "Addie could sell ice to a glacier," and no one disagreed. She was the type of woman who thrived on deadlines and pressure. Her calendar packed from morning till night with meetings, pitches, and brainstorming sessions. She lived in a cozy, light-filled apartment uptown with her longtime boyfriend, Marcus, an easygoing freelance graphic designer who worked from home. Their relationship, 3 years strong, had started with late-night takeout and Netflix binges, and had matured into quiet routines and shared responsibilities. Marcus, with his soft-spoken charm and culinary talents, grounded Adriana in ways she didn't often acknowledge. He handled most of the housework, cooked dinner, and took care of Pepper, their gentle golden retriever with soulful eyes and a permanently wagging tail. Pepper adored Adriana, following her from room to room when she was home, resting his head on her lap as she worked late into the night. He was her living stress ball, a reminder that no matter how intense her professional world became, there was still softness waiting at home. But lately, even that sanctuary had begun to fray. Adriana had thrown herself into a 6-month grind to land a long-coveted promotion. Director of Strategic Development. It was more than just a job title. It was the dream she'd envisioned since undergrad. A position that meant leadership, creative control, and the respect she'd worked tirelessly to earn. She began leaving the apartment before dawn and returning well after dark, often skipping dinners, weekend plans, and even Marcus's quiet pleas for connection. Marcus was understanding at first. He'd greet her at the door with a warm hug and a plate of her favorite stir-fry, Pepper wagging behind him. But over time, the affection turned into distant comments, half-hearted attempts to connect that masked growing resentment. "You're barely here anymore," he murmured one night as she typed furiously on her laptop. "I miss talking to you without a screen between us." And then the more cutting one. "Are you sure you're not burning yourself out chasing this dream?" Still, Adriana told herself they were fine. They had to be. He still called her beautiful, especially when her long dark hair was loose and flowing down her back. He loved brushing his fingers through it, whispering, "Promise me you'll never cut it. It's perfect." She'd smile, kiss his cheek, and return to work, her fingers dancing across the keyboard until past midnight. Then came Tuesday. Her manager called her into his glass-walled office. "Adriana," he grinned, "you've earned it. You're our new director of strategy." The words rang in her ears. Her heart raced. She tried to keep her composure, but her fingers trembled slightly as she shook his hand. This was it. The culmination of years of sacrifice, late nights, and missed moments. She imagined the initiatives she could lead, the campaigns she could architect, the legacy she could build. That night she did something rare. She came home early. Pepper nearly tackled her at the door. Marcus hugged her tightly as she delivered the news. "Wow," he said, managing a smile. "I'm proud of you, babe." But then, almost instantly, his expression shifted, just slightly. A flicker of distance passed across his face. "I guess this means even less time together, huh?" She laughed nervously and dismissed it as tension. "Let's finally book that weekend getaway," she offered. "Just us." But something inside her tightened. Something subtle but undeniable had shifted between them, and she didn't want to acknowledge it. Not yet. Adriana had always associated her hair with identity. Long, thick, and voluminous. It had been her signature since college. To Marcus it was something sacred. But after the promotion, a strange itch began under her skin. She wanted change. She wanted something symbolic to reflect the internal evolution she was undergoing. Maybe a sleek bob, she mused. Or something sharper. Then came the bold ideas. A pixie, a buzz cut. And finally, a whisper that thrilled and terrified her. What if she shaved it all? But Marcus's voice echoed in her head. "Never cut it." Was that really her voice of resistance? Or his? The decision was made for her in the cruelest way possible. One morning, she realized she'd forgotten her phone at home. She doubled back, keys jingling as she unlocked the front door quietly. As she stepped inside, faint murmurs drifted from the living room. One male, one female. She assumed Marcus was on a client call, until she heard laughter. A woman's laugh. Playful. Intimate. Her heart stopped. Adriana moved silently down the hallway, and what she saw rooted her to the floor. A woman sat beside Marcus on the couch, his hand resting on her thigh. He leaned in, stealing a kiss. The intimacy was unmistakable. Her breath caught. They hadn't noticed her yet. But the sound of her keys finally made Marcus's head snap up. His face turned sheet white. The woman stood without a word, snatched her purse and disappeared. "Adriana," Marcus stammered. It wasn't." She didn't cry, didn't scream, just stared at him with unnerving calm. "You were right," she said. "I've been too busy. I should have seen this coming." She turned, walked into the bedroom, retrieved her phone and left. 2 hours later, she stood in front of a small salon she'd walked by countless times but never entered. Studio Nova. The windows were fogged from warm air inside. Through the glass, she saw a stylist sweeping up soft blonde curls from the floor. Another woman sat under a dryer, laughing quietly. Adriana stepped inside. The air smelled of shampoo, perfume and possibility. A silver-haired woman behind the desk looked up. "Can I help you?" "I want to shave my head," Adriana said. There was a pause. "All of it?" "Yes, I want it bald. And I want to wear one of those capes, the shiny kind." The woman studied her quietly, then nodded. "We can do that." She led Adriana to a chair in a secluded corner. The salon was warm, the hum of dryers and scissors in the background almost meditative. The stylist returned with a glossy pink PVC cape, shimmering under the lights. It had a black collar and made a soft crinkling noise as she unfurled it. Adriana sat down, heart pounding. The cape swept around her shoulders like armor and fastened snugly at the neck. The plastic clung to her arms lightly, a texture both foreign and strangely comforting. "I'm Dana," the stylist said softly. "Are you sure?" Adriana met her own gaze in the mirror. Her long hair spilled over the cape like ink. "I've never been more sure." Dana began with scissors, sectioning Adriana's hair and snipping confidently. The first thick lock fell to the cape with a whisper. More followed. Adriana watched silently as her hair slid down the plastic surface, forming a dark halo in her lap. The scissors left her with uneven tufts. Then came the clippers. The buzzing filled the quiet space like a ritual. Dana tilted Adriana's head forward, pressing the clippers to her nape. The vibration was intimate, electric. With each pass, hair tumbled like silk ribbons, landing in soft piles. Adriana closed her eyes. Each motion was a release, of exhaustion, of betrayal, of expectations. Then came the razor. "I'll use shaving cream," Dana murmured. "You'll be totally smooth." "Do it," Adriana whispered. Warm lather spread across her scalp. The blade scraped gently, deliberate strokes revealing bare, radiant skin. The sensation was sharp, surreal, almost sacred. When Dana finished, she applied a soothing balm and slowly turned the chair to face the mirror. Adriana stared. Her scalp was gleaming. Her face looked more angular, her eyes sharper. She looked fierce, unapologetic, reborn. Just then the salon door opened. Marcus stepped inside. His gaze scanned the room and then he saw her. He froze. "Adriana," he breathed. What did you do?" She turned her head slightly. The cape rustled like silk. "I cut off the part of me that needed your approval." He blinked, stunned. You don't even look like you." "Exactly." Dana unclipped the cape, letting it fall with a whoosh. Hair rained to the floor like ash. Adriana rose slowly, a smooth, bald silhouette in the mirror. She walked past Marcus without flinching. The next day she moved out. Found a studio apartment closer to work. Took Pepper with her. Marcus didn't protest. At the office, whispers swirled. Some stared. Others smiled. Her boss simply said, "Now that's leadership." And Adriana thrived. Not just at work but in life. She reclaimed her weekends, took long walks with Pepper, devoured novels, experimented in the kitchen. Her bald head became more than a statement. It was liberation. She wore bold lipstick, oversized earrings, and learned to love the mirror again. One evening, she stood before her reflection, rubbing lotion gently onto her scalp. The woman staring back wasn't mourning. She was magnificent,